Hello guys, and welcome to another profile tree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at creating a business web design. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. Building a business website is an essential step in establishing an online presence for your brand or company. Now, there are numerous tools and website builders available that cater to different needs, ranging from simplicity and design to flexibility and functionality. So I'll outline how you can build a business website and discuss some of the popular options like Wix, Squarespace, and maybe using themes from Envato Elements or just jumping onto WordPress. The steps that you necessarily take when building a business website. Number one is you have to define your website's purpose. Make sure that you determine what you want to achieve for your website. Are you wanting to have more sales? Are you wanting to have more brand awareness? Do you want that customer engagement? There are multiple ways to showcase and present a business website. You can do that either through a brochure website, or you can have that through an online website, or also known as an e-commerce website. So either way, you're still promoting your business. Number two is to choose a suitable domain name. You have to make sure that you suit a domain name or pick a domain name that more represents and reflects your business. Something easy to remember as well. So there's no point picking a long name or a long domain name if it's something that you can't remember. But if you are going to make something long, make sure that it is memorable. So an example of a business would be We Buy Any Car. So that's something that you'll instantly remember. It's simplistic as well as easy to memorize. And you have the likes of R1, which is amazing food and drink. So if you are going to pick a long domain name, you have to make sure that you're picking something simplistic, not complex. If it's going to be slightly complex, at least make it short and simple. Number three would be to select a platform to work on your website. What I most prefer to use is website builders, more for the fact that it's simple, it's cheap, and it's easy. You've got everything that you would need as a business, where you send it off and publish once everything is completed. I'll give you a step-by-step guide on how to create a business website on a website builder. We'll take a look at one and we'll just go through the steps that you should take. Now, I also recommend to build a business website on a content management system platform. Now, the reason why I also recommend a CMS platform, you could choose the likes of Drupal, you could choose the likes of WordPress. Now, these are also really good platforms. I would say that they are better than the website builders themselves. But if you are looking for simplicity, then I would say a website builder is the best option. If you've got a little bit more time in your hands and you want to be a little bit more creative and add different types of animations and have access to those different animations, then I would say using a WordPress builder or a content management system would be the ideal way to go. On top of that, if you are going to be using WordPress, you do have access as well to the likes of Elementor, and that does make things a little bit easier. It does create a website builder. Problem is that most of these websites will have plugins that you have to pay for. It is an added functionality. Without the actual plugin itself, you won't have the e-commerce sites, because you need WooCommerce in order to run an e-commerce site. And then you also need, if you want to make it a little bit easier, then you have to run Elementor, and then you've got your different security themes as well as SEO. Whilst if you are using a website builder, everything is all built in one. So something to keep in mind when you are building a website. Number four is to design your website. So focus on creating a user-friendly layout that aligns with your brand identity. So if you've got your different color palettes and you have colors in mind, make sure that you apply that onto your website. If you've got a custom font, again, make sure you apply that onto the website. That's what's going to set you apart from different businesses. So, of course, you have your own little quirks and your own little designs and details. That's what makes your website or your business different from others. Number 5 would be more or less to add the content. So make sure that you populate your website with relevant content that includes text, images, and videos that accurately represent your business. Just a key tip as well, since we are at the age of AI, I would recommend to use AI for any of the content that you need to publish. You do have the likes of ChatGPT, you've got Claude AI, you've got Bard, you've got access to these different tools that you can create content with. So if you are stuck with creating some original content and you may be lost, that's why you have ChatGPT to help you assist with any of the content that you need. On top of that, if you are going to be using a website builder as well, some of these website builders will have AI built in, so you don't really have to worry about the content that you have to produce. So again, I'll showcase that using Wix Studio as well as Squarespace, and I'll also touch base on the Wix editor as well. So that's when you are going to be creating your website. Number 6, you need to be thinking about optimizing for SEO. So implement the best practices to improve your website's visibility in search engine results. You do have options to optimize the pages for each of the pages that you create on a website builder, and that would be your meta descriptions, that'll be your meta tags, your URLs. So it is really best to keep in mind what keywords you want to use so you can optimize it for SEO. Then the last thing really to do is to launch that website, and once launched you have to make sure that you do regular maintenance. It's not just instant where it's uploaded and that's it. Make sure that once that website is published, double check it, maintain it, see whether your plugins need updated or whether they need replacing. That is really the best way you can keep up to date with your website. So now that we have an understanding on how to build a business website, or the different steps that you should take for building a business website, we'll go ahead and jump into a website builder and demonstrate how easy it is to create a business website. So this is a website builder called Wix, or also known as Wix Studio. Now there are 3 different platforms on this, not to get confused. You have Wix ADI, Artificial Design Intelligence. I would say this creates too much of a basic website, especially if you want the details, the animations, then I would recommend to use Studio. You do have another option as well, which is Wix Editor. Wix Editor is a simpler version than Wix Studio itself, but it does the job, and I would say that it still has that AI integration, and you do still get the animations with it. So it's either or, your choice on what platform you want to use. Preferably, I like to stick with Wix Studio. It is brand new as well, so it's got a lot more functionalities, and I would say Wix is sticking to this one. They're constantly adding updates, making it a lot better. So jump on the Wix Studio whilst you can. So anyway, when you are searching for a business website, or if you're looking to create one, what you would normally do is you'd take a look at the different types of website design templates. Best thing to do is to double check what they have. So Wix Studio actually has quite a bit of templates. Wouldn't say much more than Editor itself. Wix Editor has plenty more to choose from, and I'll show that later on in the video. But anyway, you can see here with the Wix Studio templates, they've got all their different templates, they've got their design templates, and they've also got wireframes. So if you're not feeling like you want to create a website or if you're not wanting to change the content of a design template, then you can always go for a wireframe. Now, if you don't want to go for a wireframe, then you can always go for a design template, and you can pretty much just remove the old content, put your content in, call it a day, and that's pretty much your own website. So just as long as you have your own content and you're probably just using the same template layout and you like that template layout, then there's no problem with that, just as long as you're putting your own content in. So scrolling down through the different templates, of course, it can be a little bit overwhelming. You're seeing too much, you don't know which one is going to be the e-commerce. Best thing to do is to just browse by. So just select and go for an e-commerce template. That'll just link you to what would be the best e-commerce templates to use. Now, these are all going to be responsive as well, so if you have that in mind where you're thinking, okay, I might need to adjust and make a couple of changes on the mobile version or completely do the mobile version myself, you don't have to worry about that at all. Anything that you create on the desktop version will be responsive to the mobile version. So that's what makes a website builder really, really good. So next thing you should really do is think about what way you want to lay out your website. I would prefer to normally gauge through the different e-commerce sites as well, and depending if you have a competitor, I would take a look at the competitor site, see how they've laid it out as well, see what you can do yourself, how you can make it your own. Mainly gives you a baseline or a foundation on how you want to create your website. So for us, we're just going to go through a normal wireframe. So I'm just going to go ahead and select an e-commerce wireframe. But what I'll do is I'll actually go ahead and create one from scratch, but I'll do this by creating a single page website. So I'm just going to go to type, I'm going to go to one page. I'll see here if they have a wireframe. So here they have a one page wireframe. I might just go with this one. This looks good to me. It's always best to view it as well. So if you have that option where you can take a look at the site itself, so you can see that this is what the site looks like. Again, what I'm going to do is I will be creating a business website, but I'll not be using any payment gateways. I'm not going to be using an online e-commerce. I'm simply just going to be creating a brochure site. So that's a simpler version as well. I would recommend to go for a brochure site if you are wanting to promote a storefront. If you're going to go for an online e-commerce, that's no problem at all as well. Just take a note of the different pricing plans that are going to be available for the website builder that you choose, or if you're going to go for a WordPress site, think about the different hosting plans that you need to set up, as well as the SSL certificates. So anyway, I like the look of this one, so I'm going to go ahead and edit this template. So we'll take just a little bit to load. I'll go ahead and skip whilst this loads for me. So here we have it with the Wix Studio, and with the tools, this is going to be more or less the same. I would say that Wix has more tools compared to the different website builders, but of course each website builder has its own feature, so take a note of that. But anyway, just to give you guys an idea on how to use Wix itself, it is very, very easy. You have the elements on the top left. You've got your layers here just to show which area has which. And these are all pretty much sections. So with this section, there's a cell or two cells. Within that cell, there's a container. That container pretty much contains all the images. So that container is this one. You'll see it here. So that cell is within this container. Of course, there's different variations of that one. But anyway, I know we are working off a wireframe, but this is your opportunity as well to add different areas or different parts to the website itself. So say I wanted to go ahead and add a team area. So the best way I could do that is just scroll down just to see if there is a space available. So this is one here. I'm going to go ahead and add a section in. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and select a section. Now they do have some design sections as well that you can go for. They've got, you can see there's a team there, and there's one there called our management team. I would say that this one blends in more, or this one here. So I'm just actually going to select this one. This is the one with no pictures on it. So this one actually looks a lot better for me. And I'll just go ahead and move this in. One thing to note as well, so it being a website builder, I would say that performance-wise, you might have some issues depending on the device that you're using. So keep a note of this when you are working on a website. If you're going to be working on a website on WordPress and it's a local site as well, you won't really run into these issues as you're working offline. So since this is online, you may have a couple of issues. But anyway, we'll take a look at what we can go ahead and change. So just say for our business name, I'll just go ahead and change that. So instead of it saying business name, I can just go ahead and double click. It should highlight in blue. And then this gives me then the opportunity to type in what I want. And just like so, it's now changed to profile tree. So with the different services that I have, you can see that this is going to be a one-page website. So I would say that these are all anchored. So if I wanted to have another anchor, I could just go ahead and add an item. And then I'm going to do a link. And then I'll do an anchor. I'll choose this page, of course. And then we'll do, so I need to name one. So what we need to do is, since there's no anchor for this one, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here and go to the team, the one that we created, this section. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Now this is where this tool comes in handy, this inspector tool. And with this inspector tool, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here, hit the anchor, see if it'll come down. So add an anchor. And then I'm going to name the section our team. So just like that, it's now called our team. I can go ahead and back out of this, the inspector tool, go ahead and scroll up. So now I'll have services, about, FAQ, and then what I'm going to do is manage this menu. I'm going to go ahead and add the item in. And then what I'm going to do is select that link again. I'm going to go and select the anchor, choose this page, and that then gives me the option for our team. So once I click done, I can go ahead and name that to our team. Now we have to make sure that it actually aligns to the right area. So we have our services, about, our team, FAQ. And if I just go ahead and preview this just to make sure, should be easy enough. If I click on the our team, that then brings me down to our team, just like that. So very simple to do. And create a website. Just need to familiarize yourself with the website builder that you're using. So of course with Wix, it will take a lot of time. There is a lot of complexity. Sometimes it can be easy, sometimes it can be hard. So it is just about taking a look to see what areas you don't understand with the website builder itself, or what you do understand with the website builder itself. So simple concept. Anyone could build a website using Wix or any other website builder. Requires no technical skill at all. You do have the odd option where you can add some code in, and this is with HTML, CSS, or JavaScript as it states. You could use Node.js as well, and you can also connect this to GitHub. You can see that there's a full version control with GitHub integration. So these are only if you want to add more features to your website, and that would be having a slider. It could be having different animations, a countdown timer, things like this that you can't do on Wix, but you can do with code. Now, in order to build the website itself, the most important part to a website is the hero section. Now, I would say that this is the most important part, apart from the navigation as well. You need to make sure that all your navigation buttons do link well. But this is your introduction area. This is where you're going to be stating what you do as a business. This is what you're going to be showcasing to the visitor. Once they enter the site, they can click off it if they don't feel happy with the site or feel like it's going to be a waste of time to look through the site. So you have to reel them in as fast as you can. Use nice fonts, use heavy text if you can, but don't go too much with paragraphs. Just try to keep it simplistic. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys an example of a hero section. So I know it's not a e-commerce site, but this is just an example of a hero section that you should have. So you can see that all my control buttons, they do work if I hover over them. And of course, these buttons work as well. But the most important part is the fact that the first thing that I'm seeing is we deliver sleek website design and optimized content marketing. So you could have something similar saying that we bake the best pastries in the whole of Northern Ireland. Come check us out. Something like that. Of course, use AI to refine the text or the content that you have. And here on the right side, have a little bit of a backstory, just a little bit about us. And then, of course, it scrolls down, talks more about us as an agency. Got a little bit of a video going on here as well, as you can see. And then the different services that we offer and, just more information. That's when you can get a little bit more, add a little bit more text if need be. But coming back to the site here, this is where we'll then add our own text, of course. This is where we'll say, okay, I want to go ahead and write down, say, something to do with a pastry or whatever business that you have. So let's try to add a paragraph that will reel you in. So I've went ahead and used a bit of AI to help assist me to create a sentence. So a bit too long, but I'm going to go ahead and reduce the sizing. I'm just going to do it for 30. And so something like that. We offer appetizing instead of web design. Food and tasteful drinks. Okay, so something like that. Of course, I had mixed in a bit of website there, so I don't think AI caught on to what I was needing, but something like this would work. And of course, add your own brand colors as well. So just like with us for profile tree, we go for the green. So you can go for your own colors. You could go for blue or whatever, of course, your color palette is. That's the sort of colors you should be aiming for. Background here, let's see, we kind of have that color. If I try to build it the way we sort of have it, so I'm going to go ahead and add a color in. I'm just going to say 33 BC 77. So something like this. And then for the top here, I'm going to go ahead and add the background color. So it blends in well with what I have here, 33 BC 77. And something like this. I think this looks enticing pretty nicely. This is where I can add my media as well. I would try to showcase some food or maybe showcase like a little video as well. You have different options here. So if I search up, you can use Unsplash, or there's an AI image creator as well. AI image creator is still in the beta stage, but if I say create food for Belfast, see what I can try to create for us. Again, you could use different AI tools as well. There's Canva, there's Leonardo.ai, several different options to use in terms of a AI image creator. So we'll create again. We'll just say pastry. See if what we can come up with here. If I type in pastry. So usually the images that it provides isn't the best. That's why you need to keep creating an image, or you could use that image. So we'll just see. It's not really the best, so I'm going to go ahead and just exit off this. And instead I'm just going to use Unsplash, and I'm just going to search up for pastry and then food. So I could use something like this, put it in, add that to the page, and just like so, I've got media showcasing the food. So we'll just see, there you go. So something like that. So of course you can add more images if you need. There is AI image as well, so that was the one that we viewed, but I don't really recommend that one, so we'll just move off that. So I'll just lay this out. I'll get a couple of pastry dishes on here just to level it off a little bit, make it look nice. I'll go for this one. Now keep a note, if you are going to be using some of these images, just make sure that it's not copyright. If you do need to adjust images as well, you can do so by double clicking on it or clicking on the focal point. So this is the focal point here, and that means you can adjust that up and down if you need to. So we'll do another one here. So we'll just get a couple of images here. Let's make it look a little bit nicer. Go for this one. Go ahead and update. And then this one here. So this one's add media. Go for that one there, that looks nice. Now, since I am basing this website off like a pastry or bakery, that means that I can either create this so it has an e-commerce base or a brochure site. Now, it is easy enough to convert this site to an e-commerce platform. All you would need to do is select the app market on your left here, and then this is where you can go ahead and select add for Wix stores. If you go ahead and add that in, this makes this platform into an e-commerce platform. So wait and see until this goes in. So it's adding all the different Wix stores. And it's actually added a little basket here, if you could see it, on the right side, and even a login platform. So make sure if you are going to go for an e-commerce site, it's best to really just go for one that's already been built. More for the fact that everything's already laid out for you. You don't need to worry about where you're going to place things or where you're going to put things around, since your basket and your login details are already put in place. So it's tried to add it here. As you can see, it's tried its best to add it through here. But of course that means that we would have to move our nav bar here. So if I select the horizontal menu, go ahead and manage that menu, I would want to have this menu more to the left. I could actually just select this, drag and drop it to a particular area, so I could have it here. With the contact button, I can go ahead and drag that in. See, so usually it would be best, let's have a look. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. And then that means I've got my little cart here. I do have the option as well to go ahead and customize it and modify it if I need to. So with the icon color, I'll just go for a nice simple black. Just like so. And then move this to the right. And then I'm going to manage this menu. Just change the design. Red icon at the minute. I'm going to go for a black icon. You can see that it's currently us, so it's not really going to change. But we do have the option if it is just a normal login bar. So if I just set up the login bar, you can see that you can either have the initials, you can either have the name, you can either have full or just the avatar. So it is completely up to yourselves whether or not you want to have this set up. Back to home here. So completely just modify it. I would add as many control to action buttons as you can. So more or less, if you have a contact us or a phone number or a social media platform, make sure that you link all of them as best as you can. So contact us, have that linking to the actual form. So if I select contact us, that should bring me all the way down to the form. So that'll bring me to get in touch. And make sure with the get in touch area or the contact form, make sure that you're including all the necessary questions that you want to be answering to the visitor. And that way they can get in contact with you ask what times you're open at, but if you are wanting to disclose those details, you can add that into the footer. So that is pretty much how you would build a business website or design a web design. Now, of course, feel free to use other platforms as well, like Squarespace here. So they have several different popular options in terms of the actual sites. You can check their online store, just like so. They do have several different templates to choose from. If you're going to go for a WordPress site, you can always select Envato Elements. This is a third-party platform where you can choose different themes to create and build your business site. So you're not short on the amount of different platforms and availability of themes for your website. But there you go, guys. Hopefully that gives you an idea on how to build a business website or design that overall business website.